Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be a mini haul and my perfume regrets. By perfume regrets, this is just perfumes that I've decluttered, that I regret decluttering and have added back into my collection. Now with that said, I did want to go ahead and point out that for the most part, the ones that I'm going to mention are perfumes that I've said if I come across a smaller bottle, I would pick it up. So for the most part, when I declutter a perfume, I'm pretty good about saying goodbye and not thinking of it. But these are perfumes that the bottle was just too big, or I had a little bit of too much of the same. But we'll go through all of that. This is going to be a more chatty video because I was going to do like a perfume do and don't video, and I might still do that down the road. Well, it will never really be like do's and don'ts. It would be suggestions because honestly, there is no rule to perfume. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. So we're gonna start off with perfumes that I've decluttered and I've added back into my collection. And the first two I'm gonna mention are not necessarily regrets, because one of them, I don't know how I feel still. So the first one we're gonna go over is Angel Nova. This is considered like an amber floral fragrance. And when it came to Angel Nova, it was one that I picked up in summer and found to be just bothersome. Like it was a little too sweet for me. So then I started wondering, well, maybe it's the weather. And a lot of people were surprised that I decluttered it. So I sampled it, like I had a little sample and I enjoyed it. So I saw this and Goddess by Mugler and decided to add this one back in. And it is tart, sweet, but I think I'm gonna enjoy this one when it's cold, like in the winter. So I'm glad I got the travel of it because I think this will be just enough. And then I want to follow the review up because I do think weather plays into how I feel about certain scents. And I'm learning to maybe keep a perfume all 4 seasons before letting it go. So that is going to be one of my suggestions. Before you let go of a perfume, unless you absolutely despise it. For example, one of the worst perfumes for me in 2020 was Chopard's Cashmere. That perfume did not work on me. Also another perfume, not that it was a bad scent, it just made me nauseous, was Baccarat Rouge 540. There are perfumes that there's no point in keeping them. They give me a reaction. But then there's perfumes that I'll let go of right away and I'll smell it in the right season on someone else and I want to give it a chance. I am happy I let go of that bigger bottle because that's going to be my next suggestion, but I am happy that I got the little one. So again, that's Angel Nova. All right, this next one isn't really a regret because it never made it out of my declutter box, but that is Mon Paris Intensément by Yves Saint Laurent. And this one made it into my chopping block and was actually going to go to a lovely viewer of mine, but she ended up getting another perfume and I'm happy she did because I wore this one recently when it was cooler outside and completely changed my mind about it. Another suggestion that I can give, especially if you're one like me that enjoys a lot of perfumes, I like having a large collection, but I do not like large bottles, is getting 30 mils or 50 mils. This is a 50 mil. It's a sweeter, more raspberry rose scent. There's raspberry, black currant, there's patchouli, white musk. It's very pretty. I prefer the original, but I did wear this recently and fell in love with it again. I think weather has something to do with it, and it's probably a line that I would have gotten 30 mils of. So again, that's Mon Paris Intensément. Okay, so I think out of all of these, this is probably my only perfume regret, meaning I didn't think I liked this scent. Then my sister wore it, then I tested it out, and then I realized I wanted it back in my collection, but that is Sarah Jessica Parker's Stash. This one's very much unisex and to many leaning more masculine. This one is like aromatic. It's a little bit more, not only warm, but like fresh spicy, which tends to be in a lot of men's like cologne. But when this warms up on your skin, it does get sweeter. And there are a lot of perfumes that are coming out in this scent family. It is a little bit more masculine. It's also a little bit more complex than those perfumes and deeper, and one that I could only wear like, again, cooler months and winter. So this one I got in 2019 and I didn't care for it. So my sister likes warm, spicy, darker scents and unisex. She does tend to prefer unisex because she says sweet scents go off on her skin. They smell like syrup after a while. So she likes scents that are a little bit more aromatic, a little bit more spicy, and then they get a little sweeter. Like, I will say this one does get a little sweeter on her skin. But when she would come over, I'm like, are you wearing Stash? So I started like going over there and putting it on, and I knew I wanted to add this to my collection. This is a celebrity fragrance, and it's up there with niche, I would say. The performance on this is amazing, but it is one that's not blind buy safe. Like, I could see a lot of people not liking this and a lot of people saying that this smells masculine. Someone had told me that this smells similar to Jazz Club, so I'm going to be comparing the two, but I would agree that it falls in that kind of smoky scent family. Did I write notes for this one? I don't think I did, but it does lean a little masculine, but I think in the right temperature and once you let it warm up, it's a perfect scent for him or her. So again, that is Sarah Jessica Parker's Stash. Hey guys, editing Becky here. So this is another perfume that I missed, and this is another one that I did regret decluttering. This is Versace Eros Parfum de Eau de Toilette, and I actually decluttered a 30 ml of this one to my mom because I found this to vibe a lot like my other Versaces, like my Yellow Diamond, which was one that was up on the chopping block that made its way back into my collection, as well as Versace Eros de Eau de Parfum. To me, this one's more citrus, raspberry, white floral with like a musky base, and then the Eau de Parfum is more of a citrus white floral with a woody base. So this one's really nice for like more everyday fun, and it's an easy grab in my collection. My mom would just wear it whenever she would come over, and I would regret, well, I didn't regret decluttering it to her, but I knew I was gonna add it back into my collection. So I did go ahead and add Versace Eros Parfum de Eau de Toilette back into my collection. Okay, and then these next ones I would say are perfumes that I definitely said if I ever came across a travel or a smaller bottle, I would add them back into my collection. And first up are the Jimmy Choos. Now, I never decluttered the Eau de Toilette. I'm letting go of my larger bottle because these were on clearance and I just prefer to have 30 mils now. I did have these in like the 2.7 or I don't know what it was, but it was the larger one of these, and this is definitely a scent that I knew that big bottle was way too much. I wasn't even putting any dent in that one because this is a powerhouse perfume. This is a perfume that you don't need to overspray. You would probably choke people out if you overspray. This is a patchouli bomb, and one that I knew one day would make its way back into my collection just because I really do enjoy this scent. So when I saw that Fragrance Net had them on clearance, I went ahead and picked up both bottles. I'm going to be letting go of my larger one, which is half gone anyways. This one is like, I wouldn't say overly patchouli. It's more than just a fruity patchouli. There's toffee and caramel, I believe, in this one, so it does come off a little sweeter. And when I first got this, I never really got it, and then I let it sit for a while, and when I would wear it, then I would pick up on the like gourmand note. Very sexy date night scent. I did wear this one to the office. It was one that at the end of the day, I was still getting compliments on this one. Again, it's a powerhouse. So I'm happy that I got a little bottle of this and decided to get the EDT in a little bottle, and I'm probably going to be adding Jimmy Choo Fever back in. I did add in both of the Libre. I have the Intense and the Eau de Toilette, and this is by Yves Saint Laurent. One of the things I learned was when I would fall in love with the perfume, I would wear it a lot that week when I would test it, and I would start getting a dent, and then I'd freak out, and I'm like, I gotta get the bigger bottle. I love this perfume too much. So I did declutter the original and this one to my mom, which I have no regrets on that. My mom loves both of them, and she's always helping me out with my channel, so honestly, it wasn't a big deal to me. And then I went and got the 2 large bottles on sale during Christmas. The same thing happened. I put dents, and then I continued to test and continue, and then the perfume would just sit there. And the big 100 ml bottle would give me anxiety. So I'm learning, me personally, that while I like variety and I like to have, I don't mind a large collection, I don't like too many 100 ml bottles. I know that when you break down perfume, you know, with ounces versus the price, you save when you get the larger bottle. And while I agree, if you're someone who has a smaller collection, that is the way to go. When you have a large collection, I think personally it's more wasteful because you're never going to get to that extra amount unless you are over sprayer. You have a smaller collection. I mean, some might, because I have some of my girls who can get through a bottle. I'm just never gonna get through 100 ml. I have, with travels and everything, way too many bottles. We're not even gonna go through how many bottles I have. So I never concentrate on a perfume that hardcore. I am the kind of person that kind of goes around. I will test a perfume for a while and then go back to it, but then I move on from it, and honestly, I'll just sit there with the dent until I pick it up again. So I'm learning that I'm okay with the 30 and 50 ml bottles. And these 100 ml bottles, I need to stop getting. Ever since I discovered that, I've been doing that. I'm slowly getting rid of my 100 mls and adding back in smaller ones. I did want to get these in the 50 ml, but I got this one for free with a gift card. And then I found this one for 40 bucks. So I didn't want to pass that deal up. And I do like my flankers to match. That's like one of my things. And I also have a backup of this one in a 30 ml. So I am going to be getting rid of the larger bottles because that is one thing I am learning. So I know that was a little chatty, but that's one of the things I've learned in my fragrance journey. So let's go ahead and get started on the haul. So I did pick up the Hot Coutures by Givenchy, and I have the Eau de Parfum and the Eau de Toilette. Now, I have been interested in the Eau de Toilette for some time. I've seen so many people talk about this one. I think one of the first videos I saw was my girl Takara. She actually talked about this one in one of her older like fragrance hauls, and then I would see it pop up in other people's videos, but the person who actually had me add this to cart was Nisha Spicy Looks here on YouTube. The way she described this scent was so beautiful, and it is. I do prefer the Eau de Toilette so far. Yeah, this is a very beautiful raspberry sweet scent, but it's almost, it's a little translucent to me, so it's not like a jammy kind of raspberry scent, at least not right now. I don't know if as it matures. That's another thing. I do think some scents need to mature. They need to kind of sit there. Hot Couture, the Eau de Toilette. This one is fruity, sweet, warm, spicy, rose, citrus, amber, and aromatic. This has top notes of bergamot, Amalfi lemon, middle notes of raspberry. There's spices, big strawberry, magnolia, rose, and tuberose, and base notes of vetiver, amber, and musk. So I'm going to be doing like a this or that with both of these because I've only had both of these for a week now. So after I saw this one and I saw Spicy Looks, Nisha's video, of course I started binging on videos on both of these. So one thing I noticed in the video is a lot of people saying that this had like a cigarette smell. So not like your usual tobacco. A lot of people referenced like cigarettes, and it got me a little interested. I ain't gonna lie. Even though I don't like the smell of cigarettes, I just like to experience stuff myself. So I wanted to know. And on my skin, this wasn't like cigarettes, thank God. But I do get something dusty that can probably come off to some people like smoke or cigarette. It's like more like a dusty, well-worn old library book. I know that sounds super weird. And there is something kind of old school about the Eau de Parfum. This smells like an Avon perfume. A lot of Avon perfumes have something, I don't know what it is, especially a lot of their older ones, that this reminded me of. But yeah, this reminds me of something that I've smelled in my past from Avon. So I'm still playing with this one. I don't know how I feel about this one. It's interesting. It's not a bad scent. Like, it's not something that is a scrubber for me. I just don't know. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I'll wear it again. It's very interesting. They both have something clean about them. So this one, let me read off the notes on this one. So this one is fruity, fresh, spicy, sweet, woody, citrus, aromatic, warm, spicy, powdery, floral, and amber. And this one has raspberry, orange, bergamot, pepper, vetiver, magnolia, sandalwood, amber, and musk. Both of these have something fruity about them, something clean about them. This one's a little bit more raspberry, I would say, probably because it has raspberry and strawberry. It's a little bit more fruity. This one, a little fresher and cleaner. These are very translucent to me. Maybe it's the year I got them, maybe they were reformulated, or maybe it's because they're new and they just need to kind of mature. But I will have to follow this up because this one doesn't come off cigarette smoky to my nose. It's more like a dusty old book, but in a good way. And then this one is not overly spicy, but it is a very clean, pretty raspberry scent. The opening of this scent is gorgeous. So I'm gonna have to play with those, and I'm gonna be doing a this or that with Givenchy now that I have 6 in my collection, and comparing those at a later date. Next, we have a YouTube made me buy it, and that is 2 perfumes from Zara. If you guys haven't watched, I'm sure you guys have. If you watch me, I know you watch Coco Pebs, but Coco Pebs did 3 chapters of the Zara perfumes. And her latest chapter, she featured Golden Decade. And then this one she didn't feature. She featured in her first chapter True Leather, but I couldn't find it. So I picked up Vibrant Leather for her, or the Parfum, because it was only 25 bucks for this humongous bottle. We'll go over Golden Decade first. This one is a dupe for YSL's Libre Intense. And I know, Becky, don't you have enough of that perfume? Yes. I am eventually gonna have 30 mils of all of them because again, I'm gonna be letting go of this one. But this is only $25. And the reason why I picked this one up is because Coco Pebs said that there's a difference, a slight difference. Even though they don't list it, she said that she thinks there's amber in here. And I have to agree with her. There is a warmth to this one that's not in the Intense. When she said that, I wanted to try it. And I'm like, it's only 25 bucks. So this one is described as vanilla, white floral, citrus, powdery, fresh, spicy, and floral. And the only notes that they show is vanilla, jasmine, and bergamot. And I'm pretty sure there is a lot more to it than that. And I do have this one on this side and then Libre Intense on this side. And they do, after a while, pretty much dry down to be the same, but this one's a little warmer, and I can see why she thinks there's amber in this one, and I think she's right. And then the Intense, I feel like you get the lavender more. Like, I don't know if there's lavender in this one, but I get a clean lavender musk from this one. But they dry down to be the same. If you don't want to spend the money and you want the vibe of Libre, check out Golden Decade. But I will be doing a more in-depth comparison because I got this one just the other day. I've only worn this one 2 times and I want to spend a little more time with it. But at first impressions, yeah. If you're smelling it nose to skin, you'll pick up on the differences. But if you smell it in the air, it's a dupe. So she also talked about True Leather. And she said that that was duping, I think it's Tom Ford's Tuscan Leather. I couldn't find that one, so I picked up a Vibrant Leather for her, and this one is beautiful. Yeah. Okay, so this one is described as fruity patchouli, soft spicy, woody fresh, warm spicy, sour, leather, earthy, and sweet. And there is something sour about that scent. It's so funny that I saw that accord because I've never seen it, but when I smelled this, I was like, oh, this has a sourness, but not sour like it's gone off. Sour like when you think of a sour candy, it's sour. So the 3 notes that they list in this one are red currant, patchouli, and leather. And I don't get the leather on paper, but when I spray this one on my skin, I definitely get, let me spray it. I have something all over me. We'll start over here. Let that dry down. Yeah. I get it on my skin. But the leather in here, for people who are scared of leather, is like you've sprayed on a fruity scent and then you put on your leather jacket and it's your perfume mixing in with like that leather jacket. That's what this smells like. The leather in here isn't strong, but I will say that because it's in the base, kind of like my other leather scents, when all the top and middle notes leave, this does get a little more cologne-y because I do find leather notes to lean more masculine. So by the time this is on its last stage, for example, I wore this one to bed and when I woke up, it did kind of have that slight man's cologne vibe to it. So I know that does bother some people. It washed right off. I took a shower this morning and it came right off, but it did have that. That base note is still there, so just keep that in mind. But it is a very pretty, bright scent. Like when I thought of leather, I'm like, that can lean a little masculine. I've had several perfumes with leather in it and I enjoy it, but I know for some people, I would say out of the leather perfumes that I've had, this is probably the most feminine that I've smelled. It's just, again, when all the top and middle notes have left, you are left with that leather in the base and maybe even some patchouli. But yeah, this does have a sourness to it, but think of like sour candy. Really pretty. I have to play with this one again. I got these just the other day. I've worn both of them like twice, so I want to follow them up again. That is my perfumes that I've added either back into my collection and a few new acquisitions. So that will do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments, what are some of your perfume declutter regrets? Or do you have any of these and what are your thoughts? But that will do it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.